This is a weapon I know people have wanted to see for a while. Twice as good as a pentacle, it's a tentacle. And despite the fact that it's a melee weapon and brutality's tactic scaling, it does actually have quite a bit of range on it. And you're going to need that range, because if you are far enough away from an enemy, or even a wall, you're able to do a secondary attack, sort of a rocket punch forward. And that's where you're going to be getting a lot of damage off of this weapon. The initial hit is decent, but the critical hit is almost twice as much. So it's a weapon that, despite being melee, despite having all of the, advantages of being a melee weapon, you really do want to be using it from quite far away most of the time with enemies. Also, it grapples onto the wall, something that, I don't know, I haven't really thought of a good use of yet, but is definitely a sort of unique movement option to this weapon that is only shared by something like the assault shield at best, if you're being kind of charitable. So there's some interesting stuff going on with this weapon. Really, with the goes through shields, the movement options, the really huge range, it almost feels like it's supposed to be a redo or a fully realized version of what the wrenching whip used to be. And in addition to that, it also that was close. It also works as a weapon very well in the sort of assassin's style build, melee tactics that Motion Twin has been trying to get off the ground when it comes to 5-cell mode, or at least high cell modes lately. So I definitely am going to want to try to attempt that here. Now really, I don't know how well it's going to work. In general, I have had a lot of... Okay, let's take out you guys first. In general, I've had a lot of bad luck when it comes to working with Tactics 5-cell. Although, recently I did have a pretty good Tactics run. That was using some pretty great ranged Tactics weapons. I'm talking like a Magic Missile, which is, wow, that would be amazing right now, but I can't take it. Magic Missile, which is incredible. It can shoot, like, in any direction, 360 degrees. And then also do a lot of good damage on top of that. If you're going full-on glass cannon, which I'm probably going to be attempting here, you can't get much better than that. But no, this is going to be melee. And I do think it's going to be quite difficult. I mean, despite the fact that it does seem to have good damage, you are kind of locked in place for a little bit when you're extending that tentacle there. You can't really move out of it. I do think that you can cancel out of it by rolling, yeah. But that is not always possible to do. I mean, let's just say that along with being just very Conjunctivius themed, the whole poison shot, having the... Ooh, I am going to want that. Having the Alchemic Carbine along with me, it is also going to provide a lot of DPS, synergistic enabling, and just general range to this build. Which is why I decided to go with that as my secondary weapon rather than something like a Hokuto's bow for extra damage. Now, it's hard to say exactly how this is going to go, and I want to say that much like using the flint, I'm not going to promise anything with this run. If I'm able to get into the palace, I'm going to consider that a success more than anything else. And boy, that last episode, it's pretty disappointing that it had to end there, but I'd like to say that despite the fact that it might not have gone in the exact way that I want normal showcase runs to go, I would have been able to beat the Hand of the King. I just, just a series of unfortunate events occurred. I'll just go with that. Oh, I ducked there. Come on now. All right. But yes, the plan here is that I do have all of the mainstays as far as melee tactics items goes. I have, tornadoes. I got all the various turrets that you can possibly have in the game unlocked. Well, all of the good tactic scaling turrets. I don't have something like the Grinder unlocked. Aura of Laceration, Wave of Denial, everything like that you really want to use to prevent yourself from dying, to get out of some dire situations, and just generally deal a lot of close range damage to enemies. And I'm going to try to get this to work. Now, there are also the new mutations that have been introduced in this update, but I have yet to unlock those. Yeah, those are actually in enemies' hands now, rather than being something automatically unlocked as soon as you start up the game. More specifically, all of the new boss-related enemies that exist in the game now. And although I don't think they're super good still, I mean, maybe they would be okay, some of them with this. But the only one that I'd really want to use, Predator, the one that turns you invisible after you kill an enemy with a melee attack, is unfortunately going to be unavailable to me, so I'm going to have to be flying without that. And actually, before I go into the sewers, of course I'm going to go fight the Conjunctivius. Conjunctivius has this weapon in the first place, so it only feels right to return it to her in one way or another. I mean, I'm gonna go grab the map. I want to get the map. Sewers are always terrible, especially the first area of the sewers. So just splurging a little bit on getting money there, I think, is going to be quite helpful. Aside from that, I'm going to see how the rest of the run goes. But I do think that if I'm going to be going melee tactics especially, probably going to want to hit up more areas with healing in one way or another. I mean, I'm going to take all the best defensive mutations that I can get. Even if I could get Predator, it might be more worthwhile to go with the same type of build that I went with when I was using the magic missile. I'm talking heart, disengagement, and like masochism or something, just to make sure that I will survive if I happen to take a big hit or run into a trap stupidly. I mean, yeah, of course, as much as I would like to have Predator, I mean, just imagine that. You want to use this weapon at a distance already. I mean, that's just a part of how this weapon works. So what you can do is you can just grapple onto an enemy, immediately punch and kill them, and then, ooh, doesn't have as good of range on how it works as I would like. But yeah, grapple onto an enemy, punch and kill them, go invisible, enemies can't attack you, run out of there, punch and grab once again. Now, there is something of an issue when it comes to using the range. I mean, I know I compared this to the wrenching whip, but this actually has a lot more similarities to... Yeah, sure. This actually has a lot more similarities to something like the marksman's bow, or the marksman's longbow. I really don't remember what it's called at this point in time. The sniper weapon, you know, the weapon that you have to use at a distance to get the big critical damage for. Survival scaling, survival tactic scaling. Because you want to use this thing at a distance. And that was a really weird sort of look there. I got, like, grappled onto the... Whoa! Can't believe I didn't get hit by that poison shot. But, yeah, I kind of grappled on and then, climbed up the side there. Well, anyway. Yeah, where you want to be at a distance. And enemies on your 5-cell modes, 4 or 5-cell mode, are going to be teleporting to you, making it a little bit difficult to outrange them in a lot of ways. However, unlike the marksman's bow, which does have, like, ammo and everything like that, that is not going to be as much of a concern here. So maybe I can kind of get away with this a little bit better. I mean, much like using the flint, it also might be worth not, like, charging up this weapon, i.e. getting at a good enough distance to actually do the punch and just spamming this over and over. But like I said, it does have a pretty noticeable, like, a lag time on when you press that button to when you can move again, unless you do happen to cancel out of it. I don't know. I mean, maybe if you're closer to an... I think there's some weird shenanigans going on with this weapon. But anyway, it's hard to say. Maybe if you're really close to an enemy, it's not going to be nearly as bad because, you know, you're just going to immediately latch onto them. It's just then you don't get the punch. And maybe it'll be worth it. Maybe when it comes to going full glass cannon mode and I have, like, 35 tactics or something, I'm not going to be too concerned about doing the maximum amount of damage, and just doing damage quickly is going to suddenly become more important. But then it's that whole thing where wouldn't it just make more sense then to use something like magic missile or pyrotechnics or what have you to... Oh boy, watch out there. Also, what is this now? To use the exact weapon that you can see right here instead of trying to screw around with what can be a sort of funky and, like, difficult to manage weapon versus, you know, the magic missile, which is just spam that like crazy. Just keep mashing that button and never stop. It's not the run. That would be so good, though. 3 stats, shots leave trail of flames, and I mean, I got stuff like, I got some good enablers for, oh boy. Okay, stop doing that. I got some good enablers already for damage over time, and I do have, like, the wolf trap unlocked. Dead Cells. I mean, it's just RNG, but sometimes it does feel like it has a sense of humor now, doesn't it? The Troll Engine, as I know they call it in Binding of Isaac. Yeah, give me the... Well, I mean... screw it, just go. I mean, there's still plenty of this area to look around in. To go find the doors, and then mosey on into the sewers, although I don't know. Sewers is still going to be rough. Especially knowing that the punch does go through enemies, but the initial grapple on does not. So you do get piercing, but only if you've set up your... Only if you've already set up the punch to actually work. So you can't just, you know, use the punch and the whole, like, piercing ability of the punch as an escape route. This does have to be... Oh, come on! These biters are being very obnoxious. But anyway, yeah, the punch does have to be premeditated. I mean, this is definitely putting the tactics in tactics, I think. Which, I mean, hey, that's a part of the weapon, but... I mean, you saw what I saw earlier. They just gave me a very good legendary version of the magic missiles for free, no strings attached. And it's like, it's so much simpler. And in some ways can be better. I mean, it would be cake to take out some of the flying enemies if I just had that magic missile here. But that's not the run we're doing. And that kind of goes hand in hand with my entire view of how tactics works. And although I have been convinced now that, yeah, you can definitely do a good tactics run if you go full-on glass cannon. All you gotta do is just really get that cannon going on in there, and dead men tell no tales, and also dead men infect you with no malaise or damage. However, it's just, this is gonna be a harder ask. It's just a harder to use weapon overall, unless they were really going to up the damage on how this works. And does it really matter when you have 40 tactics at a point in time? It doesn't matter, because any weapon is going to be a tremendous powerhouse. I mean, it's just, it is the irony, the incredible mystery of Dead Cells. As why use a harder to use weapon when a simpler one can work just as well at high stats? I don't know. It's just, and that's what I'm gonna try to find out with these type of runs. Wave of Denial would be nice, but I like what I'm rolling with right now. Well, in the sewers, though, it could also be pretty useful just because that will prevent me from taking too much damage from ugly worms, you know, when they explode into bombs. I don't know, there's a lot to think about when it comes to this, but for right now, like I said, I am focusing entirely on trying to get this tentacle working. Having a nice, synergistic sort of... That was weird looking again. I kind of stuck on the ceiling for a second. Yeah, the grappling is new in the game, so it's gonna be funky, I'm gonna assume. Much like using something like the crow's wings back when that was originally introduced. Took them a while to kind of figure out how to not make it completely break with grappling up on walls or climbing walls or stuff like that. Well, at least I'm getting to the point where I am fully doing it. I'm killing these biters in one shot, but... Oh, it did, okay, I gotta stop for 1 second. It did that thing where I was continuously running into the wall after getting hit. That hasn't been that big of a deal up until this point, but now that that's actually having me take quite a bit of damage, it's a bit more of an issue. I'm already losing some of my potion charges, which, again, if you're doing tactics right, you shouldn't need those in the first place, because... You know, we're doing big hit-and-run tactics, and big outranging tactics, and eventually just one-hit, one-kill tactics. But, oh boy. There are problems here. There are many problems, and it's hard to say if I'm going to make this one out alive. I'm going to try. Hey, oh boy. Do you want to, though? For right now, yes. Yes, but that's because, like, I can't afford to take another hit at this point. I was already questioning if I was going to survive, like, this next floor. This is desperation tactics. And I want to say that when it comes to desperation tactics, you know, act like you're cursed all the time, not just when you are actually cursed right now. However, what I am going to do is I'm going to go into the Ramparts. Yeah. There's a food shop in here, and the food shop will afford me another potion charge, and then I can still go fight Conjunctivius, and then I can still switch that up to go into the Slumbering Sanctuary, get back up on get full up on potion charges, and it'll all be nice from there. But for the time right now, desperate times call for desperate measures, and I mean, I ain't thinking about the future. I'm thinking about how I can survive this earliest part of the game. Hey, and remember, when it comes to replaying parts of the game, I don't have to redo what you've already seen. So, if I'm going into the Slumbering Sanctuary, I just need to go. I don't need to beat the Conjunctivius again, unlike if I went to the graveyard. Just a little peek behind the curtain. You see, one of the great things that you learn by talking on the internet is that people don't actually care all that much about, like, the weird minutia. As long as you are... Oh, boy. As long as... I mean, it's an easier pill to swallow if you don't actually show yourself re-going through the game. So I can tell you all of the ways that I'm kind of cheating the system, at least a little bit. As long as you don't actually need to see it. It's kind of funny like that. People are so much more happy with, like, grinding out stuff and everything when you don't actually put it on screen. It's one of those things why I like to... Oh, no! It's one of those things why I like to heavily edit videos, because... I hate this. Because people are so much more forgiving when they don't have to see the tedious parts, is what I'm saying. Okay, there we go. Let's get going here. Guys, I forgot about the automatons. Those saucy little fellows that appear now here in the Ramparts that do the big sweep wave that the concierge does. They can be a little bit annoying, certainly. Because after all, why did I even have the hook unlocked? That's to get you closer to enemies, and I need to stay away from enemies. I guess I was just thinking that, hey, this is a melee weapon. I should have the ones that synergize with melee weapons without thinking what that actually means for the run. Okay, what do you got here? I mean, I do like the owl, but I do also like the 100% on poison, extra damage, and just in general, a little bit of security when it comes to projectiles right now. I mean, I'm already living on the razor's edge. I don't really want to. I mean, I was just saying, it's like, you're already going to act like you're permanently cursed, but then I did get hit anyway, so... maybe play with a little bit more caution. I don't know. You know, it's like, do what I say, not what I do, I suppose. And like I was saying, this is why I did take the... This is why I did take the Alchemic Carbine. Of course, it gives me a lot of other abilities, especially later on when I want to have a more complete type of build going on here. But for right now, it does also provide me with a way to kill enemies without accidentally, say, falling off the edge into what is an assured death below me. I don't know if the heart saves you if you die from falling, and the whole movement options here are such that... Okay. And the whole movement options are a little bit of a double-edged sword when the platforming is called into question. If there's a chance that you might move into an area that you do not want to move into. I'm already mad about that. It's just, don't at me. Then you gotta be careful. You gotta be careful is what I'm saying. Cautious, but also calm, cool, and collected. I mean, again, it's like, that's why you... Oh, I died. Okay, cool. I was gonna say that's why you have the heart, but, such a thing did not do too well for me there, did it? Well, I did say that this was gonna be a no promises episode as far as actual progress gets made. A lot of the other boss weapons I want to say I'm a bit more sure about. Just Flint and the Tentacle are unusual enough that I have my reservations. Don't really like the fact the automatons can teleport to you, even though it's like, why couldn't they? Everything else does. Okay, doing double tornado this time, just because I want to have some real good defensive options. And I do think that there's a good chance that getting something like Instinct of the Master of the Arms, if I'm going to be going full glass cannon, will have me using this thing just over and over. Just be able to have tornadoes out at all points in time. This is going to be bad. Well, for more reasons than because I got hit by that, but you know what I'm saying. And... oh, come on, that wasn't enough to punch him. Oh, well. And sure, you know what? I really do want that 75% damage reduction. I do think people sniping me is going to be kind of an issue if I only have the ability to hit this on a... Ooh, and there we go. That's why you get disengagement, kids. Oh, I will take that, though. Thank you. What was I even saying here? It's going to be rough. I do think that regardless of what I do, this is going to be a rough run. But if I can constantly have tornadoes always at the ready and always protecting me from those who would snipe me, maybe? I don't know. I'll see. DPS, I hope, is going to be mostly worked out for the course of this run, but it's hard to say. Nope, and done. There we go. Some sort of stunning would also be pretty useful when it comes to this weapon, but I don't think it's going to be as worthwhile as just panic buttons overall. I think a panic button that a boss can eventually shake off is not going to be as useful. Ooh, this is harsh. Yeah, stop doing that. Like, come on, man. Yeah, this is definitely going to be a point in time to try to get as much use out of my Alchemic Carbine that I possibly can. I got this thing for a reason, and it's to try to prevent this from being too short of an episode. But also, to sort of set up and set the stage for all the other weapons that I'm going to be using, if necessary. And to make sure that I can get to that stage eventually. What's the best way to do this? No! Okay, good. I knew that slam jamming would probably be the best option there. And it was. It was. I'm not going to say it wasn't. You really don't need a whole lot of space to be able to use the Tentacle's rocket punch. It's just... It can kind of be hard to see exactly how that works. And I don't think that something like a visual indication or whatever would do that. It's pretty obvious that the whole Tentacle, actually might have been able to use Knife Dance. It's good against Conjunctivius, but forget about it. I do think that the tornado is probably going to be better. There's a lot of bullets that tend to make an appearance in... oh boy. Oh, they're called sweepers? Huh. I thought they were called automatons. You know, they're the sort that could get near you. Get it? Yeesh. Also, very harsh, man. I'm trying my best here. You're not making this easy on me at all. Yeah, I don't even know why I tried that. I was hoping that I could get the one-hit kill, but... not quite there. Oh, well. Let's just, I mean, this is the sort of issue that you can see when it comes to working with a melee type of build. If you're working with more range, and I mean, this even has quite a bit of range as it is, it's just not enough to outrange a lot of these enemies who have their own forms of it. And the ranged enemies are not going to be doing too much less damage than a melee enemy, even as much as I try to make that happen with the whole damage from projectiles. Because stuff like the sweep motion does not count as range damage. Or maybe it does and I am that squishy. That's also a good possibility. Getting this alone will probably help quite a bit. And regardless, I do, of course... Nice. I do, of course, have a heart. That's why you have the heart. It's to prevent sudden, terrible death from things like this. It's these exact sort of situations is why you get this sort of thing in the first place. I guess, thinking about it, one of the good ways you could probably use, like, the whole grappling hook thing is that if an enemy, like, teleports to you, you could, like, get above them like this. And maybe even, like, start climbing on the wall immediately, which could be a great boon as far as making sure that they're not going to be attacking you too aggressively. There we are. Also, punching enemies as they appear, much like the flint, is kind of a fun trap to set. It's just, oh, I'm glad that didn't hit me with a melee attack. I don't think you get invincibility frames, but I'm also not going to try that. Anyway, it's a satisfying weapon to use, but, that doesn't always mean that it's going to be amazing or anything like that. It can just be fun, like Flint. I had somebody say in the comments of that Flint has gotten, like, 3 different buffs since it's been introduced, so I think even Motion Twin is kind of like, oh, we don't want to make it overpowered, but we're really inching it up as far as making change to this weapon goes. Okay, let's be a little bit more careful with these guys this time. Yep, and I think I got hit out of my punch by the crystal. That's frustrating. But yeah, the sweepers do seem to take quite a bit of time. Gold as well as a cell, though. The sweepers do seem to take quite a bit of time to actually gear up their sweep, even as an elite, and elites move faster than normal enemies. So I think I can just kind of wait for them if I happen to see another elite one of those dudes. It's so hard to say. Strategies, especially when it comes to new enemies, can be okay. Cool. Scheme, not the one I'm looking for, though. I was saying that I want a Predator. I think Scheme is the one that after you use a skill, you get a big damage increase, but I mean, I've always said that it's just like damage is not... that's so weird when it catches on a ledge like that. Don't know what to think. DPS is not a big deal when it comes... It's not as big of a deal when it comes to tactics, just in general. Okay, anybody else want to try their luck? Want to press their luck? Because let me tell you, you're going to be getting a whammy. And by that, I mean a tentacle in your face. It's going to be unpleasant for everybody, but that's the weapon that I'm using right now. Would it help if I just called it Wrenching Whip 2, the sequel to Wrenching Whip? Because I still do kind of hold that to be the sort of like the idea that we're working with here as far as a weapon goes. I mean, not that I think that Dead Cells really needs any sort of like a sequel-y type stuff right now. It's really mostly a full package type game. I get asked that occasionally, like, hey, if you're gonna have a sequel to Dead Cells, or if you're gonna add something new to Dead Cells, what would you do? And usually my response is like, I'm just kind of along for the ride. Let's just take this right now. Kind of along for the ride. I'm just gonna whatever Motion Twin wants to do. It's fine. That's cool, basically. And, I do think that that's kind of how, especially now that you can, like, throw out DLC, patches, everything like that, that's kind of how you want to do a game these days. It's like, if you don't have, like, an exceptionally good idea for a sequel, it's like even something like just making it bigger and better or slight variations on what already exists, because I think that Dead Cells doing pretty good as far as a game goes. It's like if you were going to make a sequel, maybe go some like 3D in the same way that Risk of Rain did or something like that. Because it's like I would just have even a hard time thinking of Obviously, it's not like there's a whole lot of places for the plot to go in Dead Cells. It's fairly simple. It's just, you know, it's nice to have it there, but it's not really something that I would miss if it wasn't. The lore rooms are fun, and it's fun to speculate on that sort of stuff, but it's not like that's an essential part to the gameplay. So, like, you know, making a sequel for more story wouldn't really make sense. I'm gonna take you for the health, really. I kind of need that right now, and I'm not giving up any of my very nice affixes otherwise if I do that. But yeah, when it comes to video games, though, story is usually not all that big of a deal. Unless you're designing a game to have, like, multiple installments, all of something like, I don't know, Shenmue? Even though I have my own issues with Shenmue. It's like, making a sequel is just kind of superfluous. As it is with pretty much any sort of media. When it comes to story or narrative. You want to have something be a complete package and to end with a single entry, unless you're explicitly planning to have sequels. But something like gameplay. Gameplay is always the one thing that you can improve. Oh, no, right into the thing. But that's fine. That's not too much damage, and I'll sacrifice a potion charge if necessary. Well, like, yeah, no, it would be the gameplay. It would be gameplay improvements. That's what you want to do if you're doing a sequel to video games. But I don't know what it would be that you would be looking for with improvements to gameplay right now. How you would, like, change this up. Because it feels like, especially given how the game has evolved over time, that it's like there's been so much work and care put into this. It's like, how would you have a sequel? What would you do for a sequel? Make you roll 10 times better? I mean, new weapons, sure, but that's only going to take you so far. And you can also just add new weapons to the game as it is. It's an interesting idea, if you were going to design that sort of thing. Because either it's like, I want to say that there's like two ways you want to do a sequel. Either one, you got a really good idea for a bunch of different stuff to add to the game. Like, you want to expand the game's scope and what it's actually doing a lot. Yeah, I'm gonna take it. I think a good example of that is something like you ever played Sonic Adventure? I mean, that game was just like, well, we want to take Sonic into the realm of 3D, and we don't want to just do the same thing that we've always been doing. So let's have a level that's a slot machine. Let's have a character that's all about fishing. Let's have 6, 7 different playable characters with voice acting and everything like that. You know, just throwing everything at the wall that you possibly can. To try to, like, figure out a new voice for the series. And a new direction that you want it to go and everything like that. And, like, the other thing is just more of the same, but better. Something like Mario is always, I would say, done that pretty well. Okay, be very careful here. Very, very cautious. Okay. Like us, you know, they took everything they learned from Super Mario Brothers. Super Mario Brothers 2, the rebranded Doki Doki Panic, and they made Super Mario Brothers 3 just like a big, huge celebration of everything that you could possibly think to do with Super Mario Brothers. And I just don't really see Dead Cells doing that, unless they really want to expand the whole RPG type of thing. Maybe make it like a proper RPG, and, you know, expand the scope in that way, and put in a fishing minigame and everything. Come on, why not? It'd be fun. And don't even. I know you want to. But that ain't gonna happen. So yeah, Dead Cells 2, Sega Bass Fishing, I don't know, like 3, whatever they're on. Look forward to it. I'm gonna pitch it to Motion Twin tonight. Or today. Whenever you're watching this, really. I want to be cautious here. I think that probably trying to attract the biter is... Yep. And there we go. That'll do it. Now, that does not mean that I am going to survive this, but it does mean that I am at least able to take a hit for a short time more. I'll go check out what's up there, and then I'm going to book it out of here, and let's try my luck against the Conjunctivius. I don't know. This might actually be worth taking. I mean, 19 is pretty good for tactics. That's a pretty good amount. You know, getting nearly 20 in tactics is not bad for getting there at the first boss, even in 5-cell mode. I do think that I could have probably gotten a little bit more if I went a different route. You know, if I actually went through the prison depths and then ossuary and everything like that. But I'm satisfied with what I got for right now. I want to just make absolutely sure that I wasn't going to get pegged by that, and I want to say that that was a good idea. Also, yeah, it seems like grasping onto an enemy first and then rolling if you see yourself having any problems. I mean, that does ask a lot as far as reaction time goes, but hey, you're playing Dead Cells. This game asks a lot, period, when it comes to reaction. So I guess, you know, take it in stride like everything else. Okay, would I have... No, I think I need like 40,000 to go buy the... Bam. To go buy the cold cough syrup. So I'm not even gonna risk it. Not even gonna risk it, just gonna take the potion charge right now. And I'll eat the losses in the next area when I go to the Slumbering Sanctuary, hopefully, and I don't die here. We can only hope. Oh, yeah, scheme. I almost forgot. Do want to get that unlocked here. So, instinct. Yeah, let's go. Let's go. Masochism, I do think would also be helpful, but I'll just try not to get hit by traps, I guess. I mean, that's always an option. No, you can't, like, wrench yourself towards it. Because you can close the door with a boy's axe, for example, which is kind of similar. Oh, boy, this is going to be a weird... Well, I was able to rally up a lot of that. Oh, boy, this is quite unusual. I don't know what to think. Well, the good thing about having tornadoes is that they are going to be quite useful when it comes to getting rid of like bullet hell attacks and everything like that, which I'm definitely going to look forward to. Also, I do have 100% on poisoned. I forgot to even check for that. You'd think that would be a lot more obvious. I did take the Alchemical Carbine for a reason, but I didn't think about it. Okay, there's poison. Oh my god, this is just... You would think that, like, the Conjunctivius fight would be the first thing you would attempt to... Oh my god, what even? Would be like the first thing that you would even attempt to do anything with, and yet it's... Wow! And yet it's like, this is going nutso crazy. I have no words. I'm struggling for them. I mean, it's not like I have no words. I gotta keep talking. Part of the whole channel, after all. But it's... I don't know. I don't know. Alright, let's throw down a couple, tornadoes to get a little bit of extra damage here, and then not worry too much about it. After all, worst goes to worst, I do have the ace up my sleeve known as Disengagement, ready to go and provide me cover. That's the... It's not a whole lot of survival, but it's survival where it counts, and that's sort of what I would like to say. Yeah, one of the new things with the tentacles is that they don't attack you if you are... they attack you from the farthest side. They don't attack you from the nearest side. Well, this is what I was talking about. Ah-cha-cha. I don't like it. Whoa, boy. Okay, well, it's... I don't know. I don't know what to think. But I will endure it as much as I can for the sake of the video. I mean, it does make it a little bit easy to kind of chain together hits and all that, but I don't know. How much is that really worth, if we're being honest here? I almost forgot that they're gonna go from the farthest side there. Don't forget about that. Makes it a lot more predictable, and honestly probably a lot easier to get the sick Chivo for. The sick Chivo for not getting hit in this fight. Oh no! Guys, this is not great, but I beat her. Ugh. Yeah, just keep that in mind if you're trying to go for the no-hit, flawless fight against this enemy. Oh, boy. Slumbering Sanctuary, no question. And then I'm going to try to get a potion charge. I'm going to see if I can afford the watermelon and see how it goes from there, I suppose. Bosses are still going to be somewhat difficult, but I am going to take easier bosses past this point, certainly. Timekeeper and Hand of the King should be... Yeah, this is considered a melee weapon, so the Handkeeper won't be blocking my shots when it comes to actually using the Tentacle on him. Giving him a good old Tentacle whipping. But, gotta get there first. Oh, boy, do we. Okay. It does feel kind of risky to send yourself careening into an enemy's attack like that, but what choice do I have? This is that run, after all. So yeah, overall, I do like this weapon. I do like this weapon a lot. I do think it would probably be better with brutality, though. That I would be getting a little bit more use out of that in that circumstance, as opposed to, well, really, though, I don't know. A lot of times I've been getting hit, it's been my fault. I am going to take this. I want to, I mean, much like last time I got the owl, I want to have a little bit of insurance against enemies. And I am going to rely a little bit more on the Alchemic Carbine, at least for the curse time here. Movement options, as always. Are you kidding me? I don't even know what its ability is, but I'm not going to test it. Okay, yeah, okay. I'll take it for the extra stats. I'll take it for the extra health. Look at 4,000, and we're halfway through the game on 5-cell mode. That's not good. Should go without saying. Anybody else? Anybody else want to try to ruin my day? No, that's fine. He didn't see me. He's just getting poisoned. Yeah, movement options. Movement options in games, especially when it comes to like Assault Shield and everything, can put you in some precarious situations, and that's kind of frustrating, as even as useful as it could possibly be. Yeah, still haven't really gotten a good usage for the grappling hook ability. I think it'll come eventually, though. Yeah. Hey, if nothing else, even if you are going to be going for a tactics assassin style run, you still do have a lot of great options for ranged weapons too, just for the times when you need them. And you will probably need them occasionally, especially when you're playing as risky as I am. And as poorly as I am, but yeah, that's nothing new. Anyway. Should get a food shop around here, and well. I do want this instead of the owl. Owl's great and everything. Look, I love owls. I love the owl. I love owls in general. And also the name is Dr. Firebird, and it's not just because of the Pontiac car. Are you kidding me? Like, I don't even... Rocking a hard place. 2 elites right there. I can't deal with that. There's more enemies down here that I can use to get rid of this curse. Get a little curse relief from before I dive into that horridness. Ugh. Well, what do we got? Nope, not even worrying about that. Again, there's other areas I can go to first. And then I can worry about getting smashed in my non-existent face with a mace. You know what? Just random me up some skills. What do you got? I'll take whatever. I literally can't take anything. What am I even thinking? I need to save up for healing. The healing situation is not great right now. Assassin runs do strike me as the sort where you would probably want to, if possible, go a little bit multi-class, go a little bit multi-stat, try to get some extra survival on top of your glass cannonry. But it's like this run more than anything else needs that glass cannonry because you're going to be putting yourself in so much more risk. This is nonsense. What am I even saying? Those are 2 completely opposed ideas to each other. Complementary, or I don't know what I'm saying. They are ideas that exist in the same sphere. It's just like you kill enemies first, or you survive the first hit on enemies. Pick one, don't choose either. And I've already made my choice. It's to... Hello. It's to survive. I choose to live. No, wait, I choose glass cannon, I mean. Am I, like, not even listening to myself when I'm speaking right now? Probably not. I choose the sword over the shield. Let's just say that. Maybe next time. And hopefully there won't be a next time, and hopefully I will actually get somewhere in this run. I can choose differently, but not right now. Anyway, let's get over here. That's a lot of nonsense that I was talking about there, but now we're on the second half of this area. And that's going to be a fun one. I mean, I got the golem's own punch to use against them. That's how the tables have turned. It's fair play, after all. But it's not cold play. Ah, speaking of which, what the hell, man? Come on. Okay. I don't really want to use another potion charge if I can, but I think I'm going to have to, because I'm like, that's my disengagement and everything. So, ugh. Ooh, this is rough. Yeah. I guess I should try to get some distance, have the golem teleport myself to them, and then try to rocket punch them. Just because that's gonna probably be a better idea in the long run. That prevents you from having to try to deal with their attacks, which is something I would mostly only suggest if you have a turret already down and ready to absorb a punch, or you have something to nullify that, like a shield. Really? Yeah, whatever, anyway. Only hits a single enemy unless I get a punch, so I'm gonna be careful here. Oh, great, it's a defender here as well. That's just what I need. All right. Okay, that works. Apparently took enough damage doing something already, so I don't have to worry too much about getting killed there. That said, still really, and I'm talking really gotta... Oh, I'm glad I didn't get the ire of that elite! to say the least. Anyway, at least he's not going to be walking around here. I'll remain safe for some time. And also spend all my money getting the potion charge. Yeah, here, I believe. And... I mean, it's not great, but it's about as good as you can... For real. Well, at least this is like an easier one to deal with, if nothing else. An invisible guy? Sure. Full glass cannon, let's go. I don't know. These are all questionable plays, I know, but, like, I'm willing to try out anything. I'm willing to try anything once. That's not true. There's a lot of things that I'm not willing to try, but 85,000, I mean, I guess I'll save up. I'll be back later. Keep that thing on hold for me. Sepulchre is definitely going to be the one I'm going for. Gotta get them stats. And it's so much easier than dealing with some of the malarkey that you're going to get in the clock tower, especially knowing that there are going to be invisible enemies in there as well to attack me. And I want to say, like, that's also going to be a place with that I'm going to be getting attacked by Inquisitors, or at least, well, I mean, there are some ranged enemies in there. There we are. Cool. Nice. I mean, yeah, maybe what I gotta be doing is I just gotta be, like, getting a little bit more distance between enemies. Just, like, plan on killing everything. Which is something that you don't knowingly have to do, but I suppose when it comes to tactics, it is a lot more important. Oh, right. It's just this fellow. Oh my god! This is hot garbo. Heart go barge. What even do you want me to do here? Oh, you can't latch onto enemies if they have... Can't latch onto enemies if they have a thing around them, a invincibility barrier from a defender. Good lord! Like, my dog, this is incredibly bad on so many fronts. It would also help a lot. I didn't even need to go down. I didn't even need to go down here. I thought this was this area up here for some reason. I don't have an excuse. And I'm mad. I'm mad as hell, and I'm not going to take it anymore. Yeah. Oh. Oh, my pride is wounded more than my actual body. I seriously am... I say. Oh, we'll take that. Okay. Then hopefully this will, yeah, get up my tornado, which will block the shots. And with shots blocked, I am good to go. I'm like still mad though. Make no mistake, that didn't stop being a thing. But like, oh, there's a roller coaster of emotions happening here as I'm relieved to be alive, but angry that I died so hard in the first place. But I'm also somewhat optimistic because things are going okay. Like, I mean, I'm at least like getting somewhere. Okay then. Nope, get out of here, you. And 23,000 for even the watermelon. That's... Oh boy, man, I tell you. Don't really know what to say, but I made it to the Sepulchre, so that's something. Yeah, melee tactics still definitely has its issues, and I'm probably... Okay, here's the thing. I'll admit this right now. I am probably going to go for a brutality-based run in the next attempt, if necessary. Who knows? Maybe with my newfound knowledge of try to kill enemies first, although defenders made that pretty hard. Prioritizing enemies is hard to do when they got the invincibility barriers on them. And sometimes elites can just make that impossible, as you saw right there. It's just, that's the whole thing, where it's like you think, oh, well, I'm just going to take this slow. I'm going to take this slow. I'm going to take this easy. It's going to be no problem at all, no probalo to actually get through each one of these levels as long as I just take out enemies as they come. And then you have an elite show up and it just like blasts you around the level and you're dying and you're angry. And then enemies are getting defended, so you can't actually take out the most important enemies, and you're left with trying to deal with the defender, who is so well guarded by a golem and 2 rampagers. It's madness. 2 elites right in a row, or the double trouble elites. It's all terrible sometimes. I think I might have missed getting a cursed chest, but I think that's fine. I'll live forever with that shame. I'm glad I can punch through that shield, even if it makes no sense in context of how, like, every other weapon in the game works. It still makes me feel good to see. Also, speaking of things that I can see, there appears to be a legendary weapon over here, I do declare. Of what variety? A shovel, so I cannot use it anyway. Dag, yo. Alright. And punch him up. And yeah. Okay, the tornado's actually kind of preventing enemies from getting too close to me so I can tentacle them better. Which is fine by me. I ain't gonna argue with that at all. Then let's just... Guys, get out of here. You're preventing me from selling the shovel. Oh, that's such a good shovel, too. It's a toxic shovel. But... not the run. Not the run. Okay. Somebody was asking me to do a showcase of a shovel run a little while ago. You know, since the last one that I did turned into a frontline shield, and the old frontline shield. It's completely out of date at this point. Still, I don't regret that. If you were to ask me what I regret in my life, that would not be one of them. Almost at 30. I will take malaised up food right now. I just want to tell you. I am not too proud to not eat rotten food. In real life and in the game. But that's neither here nor there. Oh yeah, something that I completely forgot to mention, but that I did test out earlier when I was jabbering on about some other nonsense, was that you can't actually, despite the fact that this is very similar to a ranged weapon and gets shot out like in a similar way to a ranged weapon in a lot of ways, you can't duck while using it. So, it's not, it's unfortunately not in the cards. I was kind of wondering that, because you can really nullify some enemy attacks if you just duck underneath them. Not the case here, though. Alright. And what else are we looking at here? Okay. All right. Cool. You two. Take a look at what we got going on here and maybe come up. Try to beat me? Nope. Not gonna happen. I set a devious trap for you scalawags. Please. And that's actually a reduction in malaise. Yep. Don't get hit by that. Because, you know, given how my general existence vis-a-vis healing has gone lately, that would be a sure death sentence to be hit by to be hit by the axe there. That does a lot more damage than you'd think. It's always pretty frustrating, actually. Okay, 46. I mean, once again, this is not a time to be going to the giant. Giant is just completely out of the question. I would probably accidentally grapple myself into the lava more than I'm hitting the giant in the end anyway. 250 damage sounds nice, but cannot accept. At least right now. Maybe I'll get enough money. I got my doubts, though. Okay, 2 and 4 have the double item rooms in there, but they also tend to have a little bit of enemies there, so I kind of keep them around as as insurance when it comes to taking care of curses or something like that if I accidentally clear out the rest of the level before taking the other couple doors. But also just in general, at this point, you know, my build is pretty complete. Ah, dang it! My build is pretty complete, so I don't have to worry too much about getting extra money. Just curious, how much more health would this give me? Double it, I suppose, but who cares? I'm so far gone past that point that it matters not to me. Anyway, hey, at least with this small amount of health, I can rally it up very easily. And the whole, you know, last chance mechanic that you get out of taking, like, a huge hit in a single blow. And get that, go down to 1 HP is doing me a lot of good when it comes to having disengagement on. Which, I mean, you know, hey, it's just small blessings. I look towards the bright side of life and all that. Okay. Like I said, I'm just trying to make it into the castle at this point. And I think I can. I'm like the little engine that could, man. I think, therefore, I can. Nope. Don't even. Janky pulling up on top of the roof be damned, or whatever was happening there. Okay. Oh, very nice. I told you. Yeah, hey, that'll actually prevent me from... Oh, no! That's the most emphatic you're going to hear me get this episode. God, I hope. So what sort of... I mean, you know, that's the whole sort of thing. It's like, you don't manufacture reactions like that. It would be far too embarrassing. Give me a couple more enemies to fight. Did I get the 60 kills? I didn't actually see. I wasn't paying attention. Other things were on my mind. I think you understand. Okay, that's the other cursed chest, and I would be down with taking it. But only if I can actually get rid of that curse, and I don't know if I have enough enemies left. See, that's what I was talking about. That's why you don't go in those 2 and 4 cell doors, after all. Or at least that's why I haven't. Sure. That also has like 100% on poisoned, and it's also going to be good. I still hold by sticking with the tornado, especially right now, knowing that I have the timekeeper fight coming up here. You know what? I don't even want to mess around with this. I just feel like it's going to go badly if I take that curse, and I don't think a single extra point is going to be worth risking my life over. So I'm just going to go. I'm going to hold forward and not look back, and we don't really have anything else going there, so let's just leave. See how this goes. Oh, I'm sad. But here's the thing. I have 32. 32, count 'em, points in tactics right now. As far as dealing damage, that should not be a problem at all. DPS should be off the charts here. So off the charts that we got to create new charts. And then it will go off of those. At least in the next area, I hope. Ah! Dang! No problem. I don't really know, like, what I was doing there or anything. Oh, yeah, that's a good stuff. All right, man. Okay, brutality run. Let's go. Okay, brutality run. Much different. Also got a boy's axe going on here. Because the boy's axe, you know, I thought, hey, that can root enemies into the ground, which will set them up much better for, you know, taking them out with Tentacle. Getting a good punch in. Is that going to work against bosses? Not so much. But against regular enemies, it's actually been fairly successful. So, not quite as squishy this time. And I do think that that is going to help a lot over the course of this entire fight. But we'll kind of see. Because it feels like the... I don't know, maybe it's just me, but the damage feels like it's a little bit low for this weapon. I have no proof of that, but I don't know. I feel like I should be... With other weapons, I could be destroying enemies in like a single hit a lot of the time. Well, anyway, that's one of the reasons why I got the corrupted power going on right now. The idea that it's like, hey, you need a little bit of a boost. Also, it gives me synergy by getting Poison Cloud out here. It's all a lot of good stuff. Oh, come on now. Please stop hitting me so much. And now, at this point, I should have an enormous damage boost if I can actually take advantage of it. Ugh. Corrupted Tainted Flask is... Axe flying out of her, I guess reset her animation. But, yeah, what was I saying here? Sure. But, if I could just get... I don't remember what I was saying. Anyway, let's just go. Castle, see if I can't beat the Hand of the King. Then we'll just see how it goes from there. Because a big damage boost with 2 flask charges that I have left should kind of carry me through the rest of this, if nothing else. I don't know about 5 cell area, but we'll kind of see. I'll cross that bridge when I get there, I suppose. It's really hard to say. I mean, I'd like to say that, like, I like everything that Tentacle is putting forward, but I just haven't really... It hasn't been as impressive as I want it to be. I mean, for all the setup that you need to do to get this thing working in the first place, it feels like it should be, you know, one-shotting any enemy, especially knowing that I have, like, nearly 30 brutality at this point in time. I mean, comparatively, if I was just going to use my boy's axe for... Alright. If I was just going to use the boy's axe for damage, I think that it's probably mostly comparable. I mean, 16,000 on Tentacle. I mean, the boy's axe is only slightly less DPS, but then the return call for the boy's axe is a lot less than getting the critical. And of course, I mean, I can also get both of them on at the same time. Both of them kind of like set up at the same time to go. Also, man, I'm mad that I got hit there, but I'll just move on anyway. It's fine. With the huge health increase that I have compared to the last run, I just think that that's going to go better based on that alone. Bam. Yeah, get a lot better range off of the boy's axe and everything. I don't know, is this a weapon that could use a buff? Am I just not using it well enough? It does feel like something that could be quite good for, like, speed running, if you were going to take it for that. You get pulled forward very quickly, and it's not like it's too difficult to make that whole pull forward thing happen. It's just... just want the damage to be better, I guess, is the thing. Oh, yeah, get these guys to fly directly into the spikes. Sounds good if you were to ask me. Okay, anyway. Maybe I'm just ill-prepared for 5-cell mode, because I would have... Ah, come on. Okay, well, this is... Yeah, this is about the point in time I'm just going to do this. Unfortunately, but... I could also probably use this last one here, too, if I so felt like it, just based on the fact that... And in fact, I probably will. Okay, guys, come on. Okay, come on, come on. I'll have... There's going to... If I go for all 3 keys, I'm going to get 4 enemies killed anyway. So it'll be totally fine. And that's why I don't feel too bad about using that there. Although it didn't really heal too much because I had to, you know, stand still to get healed in the first place. Oh, boy. And what about the other guy? I don't know if he's going to be... Okay, well, it doesn't matter. He's dead now. Those Royal Guards, I am always kind of worried about. They have a robust set of moves, and I don't really like trying to deal with it. Okay, okay. And yeah, I am down to 4 enemies, which is the new cap now. You can't get down to, like, 3 or 2 anymore. It's unfortunate, really. That was one of the things that made Brutality so nice to use. You get so many flash charges by end game, but no longer. Okay. No. Well, yeah, that's fine. All right, all right. Well, that's 2 elites killed. I just need 2 more. Yeah, don't even. I'm already having a rough time here, man. Have mercy. Oof. Well, when that guy dies, I do have bleed propagation on here. Okay, it doesn't matter anyway. Boys Act, even despite the nerfs, still doing pretty good damage. Wasn't able to quite use it for the cool combos that I was before, because the idea is supposed to be like, you know, root to ground and blast them. Okay. Teleporting enemies is making this a little bit harder, just in general. Especially knowing that this guy has the whole, like, dashing thing going on. Although, yeah, that's why I have my axe, of course. Doesn't help if I don't remember that a lot of the time. Setting up combos and being really tricky, you know, trying to have like some sort of grand plan when it comes to 5-cell mode tends to not work out as well as you want when you just start falling back on using your weapon over and over. Or at least in my case, I don't know. I assume that like people who are better at playing the game than I don't have a problem with that. Okay. And one more. I'm kind of also hoping to just find an elite kind of hanging out here somewhere, but don't have too much hope for that. I don't have too much expectation for that actually happening or not. Ah, come on. Oh, demons being so obnoxious. I mean, I can use this so much faster, and I think I'm going to kind of need to, at least for right now. Oh, yeah. Man. That's hard out there with this weapon. But hey, at least I was successful in what I wanted to do, which is get to the castle in the first place.